So, y'all, I wanted to come in here and talk about this article I ran across on CNN. It says here, child marriage is happening at an alarming rate across the U.S. Now, I didn't know anything about this in the U.S. I did see some articles recently talking about forced child marriage overseas. And you know how they're trying to make, oh, it's so crazy what's going on over there. No people overseas, savages. You know how they like to do shit like this. And that's how I'm looking at this shit. Like, God damn, the motherfuckers is crazy as hell. They savages. Oh, but lo and behold, it's happening here in the U.S. as well. Now they're focused on this Roy Moore guy, this Republican nominee trying to run for state senate, talking about what he did 30 years ago. But I want to talk about the reality of child marriage here in the United States. It says here, child marriage, which is often legalized child rape, is happening at an alarming rate across the United States today. Clerks and judges openly give marriage licenses to adult men who are marrying young girls, granting the men a get-out-of-jail-free card that in many cases allows what would otherwise be against the law. Go down here. Says, while most states set 18 as the marriage age, legal loopholes such as judicial approval in all 50 states allow marriage before 18. Laws in 25 states do not specify any minimum age for marriage. Do y'all understand that? I didn't know anything about that. The way this society will make these would-be pedophiles, how they'll shame pedophiles when they have laws that grant pedophiles, loopholes where they can slip through here. This is why I believe also, now that I saw this is why I believe pedophiles don't really get that much time. They get sent back out here. Because this whole fucking country is complacent in this bullshit. I'll continue down here. Says in 2015, Unchained at Last, a nonprofit I founded in 2011 to fight forced marriage, collected marriage license data in the United States from 2000 to 2010, the time period for which the highest number of states had marriage age data available, which is basically saying now you may not even find this information. But I'll continue. In the 38 U.S. states that track marriage ages, according to the available data, more than 167,000 children, some as young as 10, were married between 2000 and 2010. In all 50 states, Unchained at Last estimated 248,000 children, or those under age 18, were married in America in that decade. Some as young as 10. What in the fuck is going on out here? I'll continue here. Almost all children married were girls wed to adult men, according to the data. In many cases, because of the age of the child or the spousal age difference, sex between the two would constitute statutory rape under the state's laws. It would, but watch this. This is happening in state after state, not only Alabama. Since 1995, judges in my home state of New Jersey, for example, have handed marriage licenses to more than 105 men who, instead of saying, who instead should have been investigated for statutory rape under state law. The men were 4 or more years older than the child bride, who was between the ages of 13 and 15. Y'all, these motherfuckers are sick. I'll continue. Horrifyingly, statutory rape within marriage is not considered a crime in many states. I'll say that again. Horrifyingly, statutory rape within marriage is not considered a crime in many states. So not only do they make it, to where these men can marry these young children, they also make statutory rape, once they're married, that's not even a thing anymore. That's not even a thing anymore. In one state here, goes on to say that New Jersey is one of the states that statutory rape is. It is not the marriage that's the problem, which is still fucking stupid, New Jersey. But not the actual marrying of the young girls. The sex that's had once they're married on their would-be honeymoon or whatever. I guess they're taking these kids to fucking Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. But the sex that is had isn't. It is against the law in New Jersey, but not the marriage itself. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I'll continue. Child marriage is an outrage not only when it legalizes or ignores statutory rape. Child marriage is also often forced marriage imposed on minors who have little recourse. Before children become adults, which typically happens at the age of 18, they cannot easily leave home, enter a domestic violence shelter, retain an attorney, or bring a legal action. They are nearly powerless to protect themselves if their parents or others try to force them into marriage. What the fuck type of parent are you to force your child into marriage? What the fuck is going on? Get the fuck out of here. I'll continue. I see the horrors of forced child marriage regularly through Unchained at Last. It means rape for the child on the wedding night and thereafter. It usually means the child is pulled out of middle school or high school with all her or his hopes for the future destroyed. It means lifelong trauma. Of course it does. What the fuck is going on out here? Now, mind you, weed, again, weed, illegal in most states. Some states are being a little bendy as per their recreation or medical uses, laws, but still illegal on a federal level in all states on a federal level. Actually, I'm not even going to say most. Federally, all states. But what you can do, we don't want you getting high, but what you can do, if you want to go marry a child, you can do so. As long as their parents are cool with it. This is what the fuck type of country we live in. While we are the moral or supposed moral authority for the entire world. Again, I thought forced child marriage was something that was happening overseas. Last time I seen an article on this, they was talking about India, places in Africa. Made it seem savage even. But lo and fucking behold, United States has the same fucking problem that they don't even want to really talk about or deal with. Understand that this is the country you live in. You have to look at these laws and understand there's some sick shit going on out here that they let be okay. But marijuana is illegal. Something as childish as jaywalking is even illegal. But if you want to marry a child, that's perfectly fine. That is the bullshit that goes on in America. Yo, comment if you feel the need to comment. Like, share, subscribe. Mad love, y'all. Shout out Team Rob. I'm out.